Okay, hello everybody. This is Naftali Picard from Prunedale, California. It is July 28th, 29, I think, 2018. I can't think today. At any rate, the question comes up a lot, and the new school year is starting, and what is credible news? So I'm going to title this Fake News to get your attention. Fake news has always been criticism of fake news. Ironically, Donald Trump is really sort of credited for using the term fake news, but it actually originated with Jim Acosta at CNN. Then candidate Trump actually liked it. It was very slogany and kind of captured it, and people associate it with Donald Trump, even though pretty much everyone is using, whether you're a right-winger or a left-winger, everyone's using this phrase, fake news these days. So anyway, here's what the deal is. We have four major news media networks, and they are CBS, MSNBC, CNN, and Fox News. I'm going to make an argument here and try to prove it like you're writing a thesis in an essay. So on the left, the political left, which would be liberal, progressive, social democrat, so forth, even further to the left, I would say the alt-left, which is socialist communist, because the right has the alt-right and the left has the alt-left, and you have right-wing and right-wingers and left-wing left-wingers. This is how we talk. This is how we talk about politics. So on the left, you have those three, CNN, MSNBC, CBS. On the right, you have Fox News. Now, anyone watching this, no matter what your politics are, would not disagree with me that Fox News is on the political right. Why? Because they brand themselves as that. Like Tucker Carlson talks about being conservative. The people, Bill O'Reilly, who was fired or asked to leave, he was definitely conservative. So Sean Hannity, definitely conservative. And they brand themselves as such, so it's not up for debate, okay? On the left, CBS and NBC is definitely on the left, and they're not going to argue with that either, right? But anyway, CNN, sometimes you get a pushback. And the reason why you get pushback when you say CNN's on the left is simply because they try to say they're neutral. For example, Dave Rubin once questioned Don Lemon, and Don Lemon said, no, we're neutral. And he had sort of an emotional response to it, to prove that he was neutral. But Don Lemon comes on CNN 5 days a week. I watch him sometimes. And every single time he's really bashing and criticizing the current president, who's a Republican president. Now, Don Lemon is a Democrat, so see the opposition there. I'm making my point. Fareed Zakaria is on CNN. And last week he came up with this theory. He said that President Trump has this pattern of shouting insults, yelling, and making all these really high demands and pulling back completely and walking away with nothing. We're not walking back with nothing with regard to North Korea. For goodness sake, we had all these presidents who couldn't do anything. And President Trump has a summit, meets Kim Jong-un, the dictator of North Korea, gets him to agree to non-proliferation. Well, we'll see if that pans out. But definitely they've been sending back remains of soldiers from the Korean War. So this is not coming back with nothing. He comes back with a lot. So, but what this tells us is that Fareed Zakaria, although he is an intellectual, he really sort of frames his arguments against the current president, who's Republican. So down the line, again, it's not even disputable that Fox News is on the political right. But CNN, sometimes you get pushback, but they align themselves with the presidents, okay? So CNN as opposed to Republican, Democrat, Fox as opposed to Democrats, it's going to be a Republican news agency. Another proof, one of three, is that the presidents themselves know who the opposition is. President Barack Obama spent a lot of energy, burned a lot of calories, just, accusing Fox News of manipulation and deception, and many times speaking very pejoratively of those people who watch Fox News. And if you don't believe me, there is a montage on the internet that shows every single clip. It's rather tedious, but it's making the argument that President Obama got in front of townhouse meetings and made funny, condescending comments against Fox News and Fox News viewers. So Donald Trump is constantly texting about fake news, referring to CNN. So President Barack Obama, who was a Democrat, knew the opposition was Fox News. And President Donald Trump, who's a Republican, knows that the opposition is CNN. They're very discrete categories in which Fox associated with Republicans, CNN with Democrats. Okay, here's my third proof. Talking points. Very often when you watch these talk shows on TV, cable news I should say, they say, oh, they're just reiterating their talking points. They always use talking points as a pejorative, but the truth is that talking points are good. As educators use talking points to help organize their thoughts and what they're going to talk about with the class. If you've ever created a PowerPoint, you're using talking points. If you ever run a business meeting, run a meeting of any kind whatsoever, you have talking points. If you're a student in ASB and you're running a rally and you want to talk for 3 minutes, you're going to organize talking points. Talking points are good, okay? So the talking points of the left, CNN lines up with all of the positions of those talking points. And Fox lines up with all the talking points on the right. So, for example, right-wingers tend to be opposed to abortion, except for if the mother's life is in danger or if cases of rape and so forth. But generally speaking, opposed to abortion. And so is Fox News, right? CNN is generally pro-choice, in favor of abortion, pro-choice. And they're going to have people on there and they're going to support that as well. So that's definitely on the left. The right wing is definitely very supportive of gun rights and carrying and concealed carry and open carry and all that. Stand your ground laws, all that. And guess what? Fox News mirrors these pro-gun images. This is on the right-hand side of the aisle. And on the left-hand side, CNN is generally opposed to guns, meaning more gun control, more thwarting of citizens' permits, and generally after there's a shooting event, CNN really comes down very hard about gun control, about more gun control. So I don't want to beat a dead horse here, but obviously the people on the left are generally more opposed to guns, and so is CNN. So we could take these hot button issues down a line and make a chart, and CNN lines up with the left-hand positions, the left-winger positions, and Fox lines up with the right-wing positions. Even if you don't believe this, that CNN's on the left, because that's where I get the pushback, because they try to say they're neutral. CNN has had a proliferation of people on their talk shows saying that Donald Trump is Hitler. There's no better way to show that you're in opposition to the Republican president than to call him a Hitler. I mean, CNN was really opposed to Mitt Romney as well, the things that they came up with regard to Mitt Romney. So no one's going to disagree that Fox News is a right-wing establishment, but left-wing definitely CNN, MSNBC, and CBS. So how do you get to sort of a neutral news reporting? It's very difficult. I guess if you mean neutral balanced, you could choose The Week magazine. The Week magazine is published, of course, weekly. It's in electronic form and tree form. And they have geography, they have these flat maps of the world, and they have lines drawn, and you can see what's going on in the world and check your geography. It's really nice. Then you turn the page, at least I look at the hard copy, the tree copy, and you turn the page and they have a flat map of the United States, and they'll have lines, this thing happened in North Carolina, this thing happened in Texas, this thing happened in Seattle. And so you can see the locations of where things are occurring. The Week magazine tries to bring up very often controversial issues, like let's say euthanasia, abortion, guns, all the typical trigger type of issues that divide people. But they'll have 3 arguments on this side and 3 arguments on the other side, or 2 on this side and 2 on the other, and they'll have summations. So I think the Week tries, do they always get it right? In my estimation, no. But what I like about the Week is they really, really put their best foot forward with regard to showing the readership a balanced view, different sides. The other thing is The Hill, and it's an online newspaper for free, paid for by federal funds, and it comes from Capitol Hill. So whereas Newsweek, it's not Newsweek, The Week magazine will have libertarians and Green Party and Peace and Freedom as well, you'll see more of a range of views on The Week. The Hill is going to be pretty much a binary Democrat, Republican sort of thing, because that's what, there are very few independents who become in Congress. Usually it's Democrat or Republican. And so you'll have, where we have President Trump now, we're in 2018, you will have like a scathing article against President Trump, but the same page you'll have a really pro-Trump sort of article. It happened under President Obama as well. So there's Democrat side, Republican side. You're just going to have to sift through this sort of thing. I follow a lot of public intellectuals, and one person had made the statement that of all the news you hear, about 60% is fake and 40% is true. How do you get to that 40% that is true? You get there by listening to the facts and avoiding the editorializing. And editorializing means opinions, thrusting one's opinion forward. For example, every single year the president, this is from the Constitution, every January, whomever is the president gives his State of the Union address. And I suggest always watching that. Whether you're a Democrat, Republican, Libertarian, whatever your viewpoints are, just watch every single president in January give their SOTU. And so, but then turn off the TV immediately, because you're going to have people get on this, whether it's CNN or Fox or CBS, they're going to have so-called experts who are not experts, and they're going to have them tell you what to think. They're going to try to interpret the words and focus on certain things and ignore certain other things. What they're doing is trying to influence your thoughts with regard to the speech. So what I do is listen to the union address, the yearly speech, and I just turn it off. Also, on election years, on the national elections, always watch the DNC and RNC, Democratic National Convention, Republican National Convention. I did both in 2016. And sometimes it's a commitment to listen to all of those speeches, but you really get a sense of who they are and what they stand for, the parties. But again, don't listen to the channels who tell you what to think, who try to interpret what the speaker just said. The speaker is speaking in the same language you are. I mean, it's plain English. If you can't comprehend what the speaker just said, that's a bigger problem. That's a much bigger problem. You need to just be able to listen to those speakers and simply come up with your own conclusions. So I've given you 2 publications, The Week magazine and also The Hill, that try to show all different viewpoints. I've told you how to avoid the 60% spin, the fake news, which is editorializing, opinionating, trying to manipulate you and force you down a certain ideological path. I'm suggesting you go right to the sources for these things. Just listen to the speeches raw, and then keep doing this. It becomes a way of life, and just sort of making up your own mind. And take control of your own destiny. Take control of your own news, okay? Have a good day. Take care.